Hi, welcome to Bonus Garden. Today we will talk about broccolis. Yeah, broccoli. You know, when this broccoli was young, that's the first time that I planted broccoli. I never thought that this will become this big of a bush. And so, as you can see here, this is too tightly packed together. There's all broccolis everywhere. And reason being, when they were small, they're just small as like bok choy or radish plant. And so normally I would put them in 1 foot distance between each other. But this one I did the same. So as you can see, one stem here, another stem there, and another stem there, another plant. When they started to grow up, it took me months and months and waited for when the flower, broccoli flower will come up. On the average, this one for example, I planted this one in October 2012. Now it is already March, so roughly you could say about 5 to 6 months, and it's just starting to produce small broccoli flowers. Okay, there is one broccoli there. Okay, still requires to grow up some more, and the rest are just leaves, but they are having some small plants. This one for example, expect this one to be bearing fruit soon. Not yet. Okay, they're just all leaves. Okay, this was the first broccoli that bear fruit. Okay, I harvested them already, so it's only a stump there, but I leave the plant alive because I noticed that after cutting the broccoli flower, there are small shoots coming out. There will be another broccoli in there, and here as well, here as well. Plenty. I expect to have more broccolis coming up. When you cut them, so leave the plant, it will produce some more broccolis. Okay. I think the ideal spacing for broccolis would have been like 2 feet because the leaves can grow so large. It can even go up to 2 feet. One single leaf like this can grow that much expanse. Okay, and how do I make this broccolis big? First of all, I I put when the soil was just new, I put some fertilizers into it, commercial fertilizers. But I read about commercial fertilizers; they're actually destroying the land. After you planted on, it will be full of chemicals that the soil is damaged already, and also it tends to compact the land. The land. So the best one would be compost. So in last week's episode, I have talked about compost and how to make them. But this is one of them. So I made a compost and put them there, and broccolis are just happy to suck them up until it grows bigger and bigger till it goes like this. Okay, and with broccolis you have to be patient because first of all there are pests that tends to eat this broccoli leaves. See, this one is olive with holes, and they could actually consume them all. And the worst of all is chickens. Chickens came here and just ate the leaves like anything, and they just, luckily I still have one more broccoli flower to expect from this, but this was the remnant of what the chickens has been eating all this time. So that's the reason I put fencing there. As you can see there, this fence now. So in your garden you should actually, so that your efforts is not wasted, you should try to fence them if you can. It's cheap. It's just a small uh, yeah, piece of nylon cloth, and you just wrap around your garden, and it makes a good fence for your gardens and broccoli especially. um, uh, Once I wonder because I've been looking at my broccolis, and it has only leaves growing every day, every week. So much leaves around. Waited for almost 5 months and the flower did not come. So I wonder if can we eat broccoli leaves. So I started research and Google them and find out that broccoli's leaves can actually be eaten. But I don't think so you can eat these leaves here. This much big leaves. The reason is because they're already old, and although they still can be eaten, they tend to be tasting bitter, you know. So we can eat broccoli leaves when they are young. So probably a new soup like that, you could cook them together with broccoli flowers. So I tried that and it tastes nice. Okay. And a word about broccolis also, you need to harvest them in time, because if not, then the broccoli would look like this. And see that one there, each one has been growing stems, and it's more of the stems. The flower will grow bigger, and these stems are quite hard to eat. So you don't wait until that long. So when you see that the broccoli flower is already forming, once it's big enough, then you harvest them and save them maybe in the refrigerator to freeze them so that you can eat them in the future. Okay. Oh, I love this one. Can you imagine? I didn't expect it to be like that. See the stump there? I just harvested last week, and then shoots are coming out everywhere, and also this is big, and each one is producing broccoli flower. So I expect more broccolis from the ones which I already har- harvested. Okay. And broccolis needs a lot of water, so you should water this one every day if possible. I used to put water there down the bottom of this one here. Insert the water hose there so that they can uh, suck all the water. And it's a good idea to put mulch on this one so that it retains moisture. Yeah, mulching means putting some kind of straws or leaves into the soil around the plant so that when you water them, the water goes below the mulch and tends to keep him there and keeps the moisture. And also this is the reason also you need more compost, because compost has a lot of fibers, and these fibers will tend to retain water over the day, especially in that summer Dubai. Because this garden is actually situated in Dubai. Nobody actually thought that you can make gardens in Dubai, but there's a lot of gardens in Dubai. Just take a little effort, because Dubai is mostly desert, like that one there on the side there. If you really want to put garden, then you have to uh, you cannot plant anything onto this soil here, and that's the reason why uh, we need to have something called a raised bed. Did you see it here? It's just a piece of wood about 6 to 8 inches in you know in thickness towards down from here to there, and bury them in the soil, and then you put all your soil there so that this will be the one that where the plants will grow, not on the desert soil. You don't even have to dig around the desert soil. Just add compost, and actually I bought sacks of commercial compost, which is the brand name is Gardener. That's what I noticed, that it was working very well, very fine, because it makes the plants grow very big. And that's it. So you put them all, and then fill your raised bed with a lot of compost. And also sometimes compost is not complete. Compost is very good for nitrogen. Nitrogen is only used for making the leaves green. So during the early stages of the plant, you need a lot of nitrogen, so compost will support that one. But as they grow up, when it starts flowering or your other plants fruiting, like your tomatoes and the rest of that thing here, you need to have at least phosphorus, and that you cannot get sometimes from your compost, which are mainly leaves. So you add some other materials into your compost, or in my case I used to add commercial fertilizer, which is more on it's more on phosphorus. So as you can see, fertilizers are rated with three numbers, and they represents um, NPK, meaning nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So we need a fertilizer which is more on potassium and phosphorus. So you may use a fertilizer like this, like 10 10 17, 10 10 20. That will be good for fruiting and flowering plants. If you are to buy fertilizer for growing them when they were young, you would use a fertilizer which is more on nitrogen. So you would probably use a fertilizer which is like 17 10 10. So okay, this particular one I did not put fertilizer for nitrogen here because I know that the compost is full of nitrogen. So I waited until they grow up, then I started putting this there's actually something there. There are blue spots there. These are blue fertilizers, more on potassium and phosphorus, and that's how I got a good broccoli flower. So so far we've discussed a lot about broccolis. The only thing to note is when you plant broccolis, space them a lot. Put at least one plant every 2 feet. Then that should be a good spacing for broccoli. I don't know about others, but that works for me because even this one, I only spaced this one. It's not even 1 feet. It's only like 10 inches apart, but it's growing well, and I still can get good broccoli flower. So that's all for today. See you next week on Bonnie's Garden.